Welcome, faithful believers. This is Faith Journey Hub, and as you know, I always try every single week to bring you an update on what is happening in the Christian world. Now, there is one thing I want to make it clear: until what is happening in the northern part of Nigeria is resolved, I will keep on updating you, because I don't want to be like I give you an update and I stop and thing keeps on happening. It's like, yeah, but there is more happening. You get what I mean? So I'll try my best to each and every week try to give you an update of what I've seen, or if it's not a week or 2 weeks, I'll try to do that just to throw more light and let you know that these things are still happening. And today I have a couple of videos to let you all know that now the news is getting out there, people are hearing it, the sort of movement that people are making. I truly do. I love it. I love that the Christian community is not focusing on what is happening in Middle East, but now focusing on what is truly important. You understand? So today, without further much ado, first video, let's go. Video number 1, let's go.
Nothing about the fact that one country.
So this is from Patrick, right?
Killed,
you know Patrick,
executed more persecutions towards Christians than any other countries around the world combined. Just this year, 7,087 Christians have been killed, beheaded in many instances this year, just for going to church.
That is scary.
Today we're going to talk about the events that are taking place in Nigeria targeted towards Chris. Thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. So watch this. If you're watching this, and we know mainstream media is not going to be talking about this a lot with other people, you want to get more exposure to it, share with other people. Let me tell you why. Since 2009 till 87, just this year, 100 abducted. They disappeared. Can't find them anymore. You just don't take it.
From the date that he mentioned, that 100 people are abducted, like, I keep on asking myself, what is the Nigerian government doing? What is the Nigerian government doing? Right? It's crazy. Like you hear these news and it's always like, what are you lot doing? What are you doing to help your own people? And these people are getting the numbers, they're getting the strength, and every single time I watch these news and I watch these messages, and I'm like, what is even happening in that country? I know Nigeria is a very giant place, and it needs a lot of attention. So if you don't have a proper government, it's going to be very difficult. So I loved one of the comments that one of y'all sent to me, that because Nigeria is a very big place, if they had made it all the states like independent for them to govern their own selves, have their own military, like, you know, in the state, right? Every state have their own military, have their own police personnel, and their own laws that is governing it. You see, that makes sense a lot. Nigeria is not like that. It's a central government where one government is controlling every single thing, and it will be very difficult for you to handle. You must give the right for these states to own armies, own their own police forces, own their own resources to be able to manage its own self. But if you try to take it upon yourself, it's not going to work out, brother. It is not. It's crazy.
Take your kids to church. All you want to do is go pray. Maybe, you know, sing a little bit, worship music, listen to the pastor, the preacher, what they have to say, the priest. 19,100 churches have been destroyed. By the way, news that they have. And in Nigeria, specific areas are being targeted. Now, who is doing the targeting to these Christian communities, these Catholic churches? They're saying, what do I do? I just want to go to church. I can't. You saw service with everything that's going on. I mean, you know, we get the challenge with our faith a lot of times. How strong is our faith? Is our faith as strong as this guy?
No.
They're still in church. They're still there praying. They're still singing to worship music, even though all this stuff's going on. You hear guys talking about, they killed my family.
Like, you know what? Yeah, it doesn't matter what you do. These their faith that they have or they're portraying is something that I cannot even understand. Because when was it? I think yesterday, yeah, I think 2 days back or yesterday, I was reading the Bible where Abraham decided to sacrifice his son Isaac to God, and this man didn't hesitate, even though he was 100 years and Sarah was like 90 something years. So you know, childbearing is going to be difficult. There is no childbearing. There's no childbearing at that point. But this man still sends Isaac to the altar to be to be sacrificed. And I'm thinking to myself, what would make this man do this? Yes, God spoke to him. Yes, he has had an encounter with God. Yes, he has. But what could make this man, his only son that could inherit every single thing that the God that he's serving has promised, to give all of them back to? Am I willing to do that? It made me ponder a lot. So these people, the kind of faith that they are having, it made me like learn a lot. Like, what can I do to achieve this kind of faith? What can I do to walk in this kind of faith? These lot, what they are going through is a privilege. It's like that. Your father, as Patrick said, your father and mother get killed, but you still go to church and praise God. So sometimes what I go through it shouldn't be nothing for it shouldn't be like a hindrance for me to serve God. It should be a motivation for me to serve God, because I look at the world and what the Christians are going through. I ain't seeing nothing yet. I ain't seeing nothing. You understand? I ain't seeing nothing. I should do more and strengthen my faith more and work harder, because I look at them and I see that what I'm doing is nothing. What I'm doing is nothing. It's amazing, bro.
They killed my parents. They burned my house down. They burned my relative's house down. They burned my kid's house down. All I have left is this shirt I'm wearing. Here's what the fellow is talking about. I want you to watch his two clips. One of them is them still going to church on a Sunday, and one of them talking about what happened to him and his family. The purpose of me showing this, it's just Christians. I mean, it's just Christians, but we have to show anything else to raise the temperature and make sure people are angry and go out there protesting. Free Palestine, that's what we need. We need rage. Christians, give me a break. You know, if you're going to go out there and share this, if we're mainstream media, some victims are beheaded and burned, but I mean, we don't need to really talk about it a lot.
Very true.
It's just Christians. We need to really get into the story. And then hear stories that's going on in Canada. You got Justin Trudeau, 112 churches burned in Canada, Catholic churches, and Justin Trudeau, former prime minister, gets up there and says, well, I understand their rage. I mean,
what?
You have to watch this to believe what the former leader of Canada had to say about all the church burnings that was going on in Canada. Here's Justin Trudeau for you. Places to read. The only reason I'm showing you Justin Trudeau is because it's not just happening in Africa or Syria and all the, it's happening in the West as well. We can tell you some of the stuff that's going on in Arizona that happened recently.
Wait, hold on. So Trudeau didn't, oh my, that, churches got burnt down and you're like, yeah, you didn't say.
This is taking place, and so a lot of Christians are saying, hey, what do we do about this? Do we just sit around and not do anything? What can we do about this? Some are saying, hey, well, that's why we need a crusade. There's a spiritual warfare going on. That's what we need right now. We need to get louder. Some are saying mainstream media should talk about it. Well, there's nothing about the
mainstream media ain't gonna do nothing about it. It's the policies that people set that restricts people, right? So if there is a law, like you cannot go to a Muslim country and bend down a mosque, you'll be killed or something. But we understand that Christianity is not like that. It gives freedom, right? It gives freedom. It pardons, and we tolerate a lot of stuff. You understand? Which shouldn't be that. We have become very nonchalant. Like, if this is happening to my brother, it's fine. At least it's not happening to my country. It's not happening to where I'm coming from. I'm only in alliance with the country that my country is in alliance with. You understand? And that is cool. Hey, you have your own right to whatever you want to. But at the same way, we are believers. You understand? The same enthusiasm you give to your country's allies, you can do the same enthusiasm, right, to Christians across the world that are going through similar things, or Christians in different countries that are going through similar, that are going through problems that cannot be solved by what's it called, the government, or cannot be solved by its own people, the Christian community or fraternity over there. You can try to raise an alarm. You can try to, support. We can try to gather something. Food, do they need food? Do they need clothing? What do they need that we can try to do to help out? Because we have to know that they too are our brothers and sisters in the faith. You understand? So yeah, let's go to the second video. So this is the second video. Let's go.
7,000 Christians have been killed in Nigeria this year.
So you can see like them carrying them off. That, bro, that is sad.
Came out. And you don't hear much
that's
about
sad.
it. Okay? You don't. You hear a lot.
Big man, what is happening in the comment section? I've seen people laughing because it says, well, the title says many Christian communities in northern Nigeria have suffered several attacks, killings, church destruction. Can confirm Christian genocide. Yes, it's Christian genocide. We do not, it's Christian genocide, but people do not want to label it like that. But me looking at people laughing in the comment section, I'm like, what is wrong with you?
A lot more about Gaza than you hear about Christians. Christians get killed. Even some Christians don't talk about it enough. They put more focus onto what's going on with Gaza because it's easier to have a enemy that is disliked than this. However, this is the reality of it, what's going on in Nigeria right now. 7,000 Christians have been killed during the first 220 days of 2025.
Sheesh.
A civil society watchdog says this is an average of 35 killings a day, according to a recent report published by the Nigeria-based Human Rights NGO and International Society for Civil
killings a
Liberties and the Rule of
day.
Law. Nigeria has long...
Wait, hold up. 35 killings a day? Bro, you kill 35 people a day? Sheesh.
Been an epicenter of Christian persecution, with more Christians killed for their faith in Nigeria than in the rest of the world combined. Damn.
And the rest of the world
Human Rights
combined?
Organization Open Doors, which
obviously it will make sense.
Christians around the globe.
Because if you're killing 35 people a day,
at least 12 million Christians since 2009, 16 years according to Inner Society. That year marked the start of Boko Haram's insurgency to establish a caliphate in Nigeria and the broader Sahel. In the 16 years since, Inter Society estimates 189,000 civilians have been killed, 125,000 of whom were Christians, and 60,000 were liberal Muslims. The Inter Society reports that 7,087 Christians were killed in Nigeria between January 1st and August 10th, and that 7,800 were abducted in the same period. The report identified Benue State and Nigeria Middle Belt as among the hardest hit, with at least 1,100 deaths, including the Yalawata massacre in June, with 280 Christians were killed. Robert, you have a clip. Is this the clip of the gentleman?
But I'm having like goosebumps.
Oh, this is the one.
It's too much.
Okay, go for it.
The numbers they are saying, you might think is fake.
It's after church.
But you look at people crying for losing their loved ones, for losing their breadwinners, for losing their future.
7,000 Christians.
For losing their future, because you have to understand, Africa's way of life is different. When an African person gives birth to a child, that child is that person's future, right? If it's a husband, the husband is the breadwinner. Like these laws have taken all these sort of things from them, and it's tragic, bro. It's so tragic. It's so tragic. I can't, like, these videos. It's very hard for me to watch because me putting myself in these people, their shoes, it's not easy. It is not easy. Let's try to go to the second video, the last video. Then we wrap this one up. I don't want to take too much of your time. There are a lot of the videos, so we try to separate them so that you get more attention on all these videos. If you clump all of them together, you might miss some minute details that we are supposed to understand or get.
Why is the media?
So this is the last video for the day. Then we wrap it up.
You're not talking about this.
Yeah, we have seen this video where
Why?
you know, these sort of topics, you have to be very careful on how to on your opinions and whatnot, right? Being that if a big news publications to come and say that there is nothing happening in Nigeria, you be like, you start thinking like, what is these people on about? From 2029, sorry, from 2009, Boko Haram has been able to kill people, like take people's lands, people's children, people's properties, like, and you tell me there is nothing happening in northern Nigeria. How much were you paid? With all the videos you have been seeing, with all the evidence that is coming out, and you still come out to say that people have not been, there's nothing happening in the north, like, come on. Come on. I mean, if you do like a propaganda stuff, like make it make sense a little bit. You understand, right? Just make it make sense a little bit. That was clearly a lie. And these people, this news company should do better. You understand? They should do better. They are not paid. They are not paid for them to lie. They are paid for them to tell the truth. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable the truth is or how you want one group to look. It's bad. Bad is bad. You understand? Because Christians, Christians are like lambs, so we don't usually go on a rage, we don't usually do that. If we are supposed to retaliate with the same thing, the world will come down because why? People say, oh, like you are doing this, but we have seen a lot of people do this, how like kill Christians every single time, but it's like the world is like silent about it, or if you try to talk about it, they will silence you on it. It's sad, you understand? All these things do not paint a good picture on what is happening. You should be a news outlet should be a neutral outlet, not buy into what somebody's trying to pay you or somebody's trying to tell you to do. But your job is to provide the evidence and the truth of what is happening. And we see a lot of things happening over there, and you come out to say that that is a lie. And I I I cannot say this enough. Nigeria is not a small country to wait on Donald Trump or to wait on America for America to come and help them. Again, Nigeria is not a small country. It's not a minute country. It's not a poor country to sit down there to make Trump or US to come and save them. US do not hold anything for Nigeria. US do not have to do anything for Nigeria. US has to do what US has to do for US and its people. What is the job of your president? Why do you have a president? Why do you elected a president? Why do you have ministers of state? Why do you have parliamentarians? If all these people are not put into good use, what do you do then? You try to take them to court and to try to what? I'm not calling for like overthrow. Try in a lawful way, find ways and means to bring a different government. If you have to take it to international court or something for them to know that these governments are not doing the things that they should do, and you need a correct government to keep your country afloat, you do that. You cannot wait for the US, you cannot wait for Britain to come. Britain is supposed to do what Britain is supposed to do for their people. The UK is supposed to do, what's it called? America is supposed to do what is best for the Americans. Canada is supposed to do what is best for Canada. Australia is supposed to do the same thing. China is supposed to do the same thing. You understand, right? You do not call for a country to come and help you on what is happening on the land. You caused a problem by having a weak security force, which made a way for these lot to come in to do this thing to your land. America do not have any sort of priority to come and help you. That's the reason why I'm saying this is Nigeria is a big country financially, big country in terms of people to help itself. You cannot hold America's neck to come and help you. I say this again because look at the people you have in your country. For crying out loud, Aliko Dangote is one of the richest people we have in Africa. This man worth billions, and you guys always brag about this. Look at your ministers. Tinubu, when he was vying for presidency, this man's billboard, this man was advertising at New York Times Square. Do you know how expensive that thing is? And if you look at how these people, like, if you have not been on Nigerian social media, just try to go on the social media. You know, sometimes nowadays you don't have to travel to the location to know that whether the country is poor or not. Look at your social media. Right? You know, their pastors, the things they ride, and the how they spend. You understand? How corrupt their government, their governances. You understand? These people can resolve this thing within a week if they try to manage stuff properly. Do what is important rather than how to flaunt. Because trust me, yeah, Nigeria has the biggest churches in Africa. So if all these big churches are supposed to put their worth together, let's just go and buy proper gear for their military to go and fight for them. This will be a cinch. So me hearing, yeah, the cry touched my heart, but that was to a wrong audience. What we can do is throw more light on it, and maybe your people in your governance will see that this is getting out of hand and will do something about it. But an African problem can only be solved by an African man. I'm not saying because no, because I've seen the work they have, and I've seen what people do there, and I've seen the kind of things people do there. We don't need aid over there. If you're supposed to put things in the right perspective and put people to judgment, you'll not be calling for aid. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because if your president have like private jets and stuff, you don't need aid. This is the second time I'm saying that. I will continue to what? Hammer it. Your pastors live like kings. Your politicians live like kings. Brother, what we can do is to pray for all y'all. But God has already given you the solutions. It is time for you to implement it by your own people that you have in that land, your own people that you have on that land. Yeah. Thank you, and yeah, I will continue to update you on what is happening, and we will continue to pray about it. But yeah, that is my 2 cents on it. Thank you, and catch you on the next video. Bye.